days after SpaceX launched its 9th test flight on Starship on Tuesday, Luis Balderas from Lab Padre Space Channel breaks down all the action.
This week at Starbase, Ship 36 receives its third RVAC motor and left aft flap for installation. Ship 37 is moved to Massey's to cryoproof the fuel tanks, and the new launch mount continues to be fit out with cooling hardware. Now let's dig into this week's update. The following day after the Flight 9 launch over at the Massey Outpost, Test Article B18.1 finished a round of cryo testing, verifying the integrity of the Block 3's Super Heavy design. The ship cryo stand was moved into Megabay 2 in the evening, and Starship 37 was soon transferred to it for its first trip to the Massey Outpost. Ship 37 began its trip on Thursday morning, rolling out through Sanchez onto Highway 4 before heading up to Massey's. The ship's flaps and most of its heat shield tiles have not yet been installed. Here we can see quick disconnect hardware for the Block 3 booster being rolled out to the launch site. The new boosters will have 2 interface ports in separate housings, which will help keep the methane and oxygen from mixing. A vaporizer was also delivered to the launch complex, continuing build out of the tank farm expansion. Crews also continued their work to close back up the front facade of Star Factory, reworking the edges and corners of the shortened structure. Meanwhile, Ship 36's third vacuum Raptor was moved into Megabay 2 for installation. Over at Pad B, the third water distribution manifold was installed on the launch mount. The pad deck has extensive water cooling to help prevent damage and erosion during launch. Back inside Megabay 2, Starship 36's left aft flap was installed. Once the mishap investigation into Flight 9 is complete, the ship will be modified and prepared for Flight 10. The Pad A chopsticks were raised up to the catch position and put through their paces, making sure they were still within tolerance after flight before being lowered back down. For continued live coverage and other detailed Starbase content, go to youtube.com/labpadre or labpadre.com.
And now, your Valley Storm Team forecast.
Overnight tonight, down around the upper 70s, southeast wind 10 to 15 overnight with mostly clear skies, leads you to kind of a warm and sticky start to the morning for tomorrow, as temperatures will be racing on through the low 80s by 8 a.m. Yeah, it doesn't take long around these parts, and we start to get warm and downright hot as the day wears on. And what takes it from hot to sweltering? Yeah, humidity, lots of it too. And you see mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, and southeast winds will work together to make it feel very valley around here. 98 degrees McAllen, 94 Brownsville and Raymondville, 96 Harlingen, that southeast wind at 20 at times. But you know, 94, 96, that's just a little bit above normal. Normal mid-valley high temperature is 94 degrees after all. So we won't be doing too bad in that department. But again, the heat index, what it feels like on your skin, is going to be pushing 102 to 110 across much of the Rio Grande Valley. That's going to be true for Wednesday as well. So remember to take frequent breaks, drink lots of bottled water, especially if you're my age or older. And then be sure the animals have nice shade and some clean water, because day after day it can just wear a body down. If it has 2 legs or 4 legs, doesn't matter. Looking at air quality, oh yeah, we're getting a double whammy here with this, in that we have smoke coming up from Mexico. That's agricultural smoke, industrial smoke, and volcanic smoke. They have it all, don't they? And then the dust from Africa, that's going to be coming in again and again from the Atlantic Ocean. So we'll show you how that plays out. High pressure locally, okay. That means very little cloud cover, southeast winds with its clockwise rotation helping to reinforce the southeast breeze. And of course that keeps it hot and humid. So that's where we stay there. Now, as far as the dust, well, the first clot is already here. It's been here since this weekend. I know you know that. And then again, that's just going to continue to prey on our senses. And then you've got the next big clot of it coming off the Sahara Desert, and that's going to ride the prevailing winds and head on in this coming weekend into next week for us. The good news is the dust helps to modify or mitigate, squelch, squash, kill hurricane development. Yeah, I've had to use a lot of words there. But anyway, you get the picture. The dust inhibits hurricane development, and that's a good thing, I suppose. Then we're looking at the tropical forecast, and this has been popping on and off for the last 24 hours, and this again is a 10% chance that we could be looking at something forming off the east coast of the United States in 7 days, but that's for them, and no forecast due for us, at least not yet. The hot spot, the usual suspect spot for June is the eastern Gulf of America, there along Florida's west coast, from the Keys on up through the Big Bend of Florida, but that's just the numbers game. These things can pop up anywhere. That's why